So we would think this and be like, oh my God, it's me.
Good morning.
Bro.
I hear that.
Back again, fam.
Back again in the stew. What's this, episode 11?
Nah,
Back
yeah,
in the
fam.
stew, fam.
Nah, you know what? These lot got me hot, you know.
Why are you stressed? Sean's
Fam.
sweating, fam.
Fam, I'm vexed, fam, because like, you're just chatting rubbish, fam.
Why? What
Basically,
what did I
yeah.
say?
You see, so you see me, yeah.
Are you really going to
Like,
say it on the pod?
Fam, I'm gonna say it on the pod, fam. Yeah.
That how hot you
Yeah,
feel? Say
fam.
it.
I feel
Alright,
hot, fam. I
alright,
feel
alright.
hot because
His eyes a bit hot.
you know what it is, yeah? Is that I've got very sensitive eyes, innit? So like, if I can't put in, hold on. I can't put in like contacts or anything like that. Like anything that goes near my eye,
wear glasses?
Listen, I'm
Do you wear
talking.
glasses?
I'm talking.
No, I'm just asking.
I'm talking.
You said he
I'm
can't
talking, but
put
no.
contacts in.
Alright, but I'm talking though.
Right,
Stop
so
talking over
let
me.
me finish this story.
Stop talking
For
over
the
me,
listeners, that
But
are
anyway,
tuning in.
as I was saying, yeah.
Me from like Coyote, fam.
Okay, thank you. Anyway, as I was saying, obviously I'm very sensitive with my eyes and that, innit. So everything that goes near my eyes, I start to blink like mad, innit. So obviously something's gone in my eye earlier. And obviously, you know when you rub your eye goes red. Now these man are laughing and trying to tell me I got a pink eye now. Yeah.
Someone pooped in his eye,
Someone pooped in his eye.
Yeah, you lot are chatting rubbish, fam. You lot are
Stop
chatting
eating
rubbish.
arse,
fam.
I know, you gotta just stop doing what you're doing at home, mate.
Stop doing
I know everyone can do what
Stop
they like to
itching
do.
my eye. Okay then, alright, that's fine.
I've never known someone to blink and get pink eye.
Is that what happened? You only listen to what you want to hear. What you want to hear.
Well,
innit?
you
You're
told
selective.
me you said something
You're
about
selective.
contact lenses, but you
Yeah,
wear
I said
glasses.
I can't put stuff in my eye.
But do you wear glasses?
But did I say I
Why
was
would you
rubbing
put
my eye?
anything in your eye?
Did I say I
If
was
you don't wear glasses, why would you put
What went
anything in
into your eye? What do you think went into your eye?
dust in it?
Gas.
Dust, fam.
Was it gas?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine, fam. That's fine. That's
We're back
fine.
in the stew. What's this?
Episode 11. fam.
Thank you for everyone listening in, tuning in as you do on bi-weekly, weekly, whatever it is. You know.
Let me read out what's going on.
Go on.
because
Read out
getting
our
on my
topic
nerves, fam.
because obviously Sean's a bit rattled right now.
Sean's feeling hot, but it's cold outside.
His eyes hot.
You know, you become a different man since the do-rag, you know. I'm not gonna lie, fam.
I learned
I'm
the
not gonna
do-rag
lie.
from you still.
Is it?
Why are you trying to go into me,
No,
fam?
because you get on my nerves, fam. Anyway, fam.
I thought we got pink eye, bro.
Anyway. So today we're talking about black men.
Blackity black.
Black men.
Negro.
I was gonna say something there, but I was like,
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say. Just
But,
keep it. Yeah.
yeah, fam. So black men and non-ethnic partners versus black women and again non-ethnic partners.
So is this like interracial relationships?
Yeah.
2 words, bro.
Hold on. Let me.
Daniel's ready.
I was just gonna say, do they receive the same energy?
Can I say my 2 words?
Go on.
Double standards.
Okay. All right.
Go on.
Explain.
Go on. Elaborate.
Let me finish my sweet because I don't want people to get me.
But I do think, yeah, you're right. It's a double. It's one. That's one part of it. One part of it is a double standard.
I think double standards because whenever, and we've all witnessed it, nobody can deny this, right? Whenever we've seen a black woman with a white man, most of our counterparts, black women, will be like, yes, queen,
Yes.
get
Calling
yourself
you
a
his-
white man, get yourself a man
You
that
better
will
be
look
calling
after
you his Nubian queen.
Yeah, but all of this. And on the flip side, whenever we see a black man with a white woman, even though that might be his preference, it's, black men don't like black women, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. He's a sellout. Or,
How was he raised?
Or it's either that, yeah, or it's a case of, white women are always taking our men.
Taking our men,
There's not
yeah.
enough black men as it is, and they're always taking them, blah, blah, blah. But hold on, you said men are trash. You said you don't like black men,
Yeah.
sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? So for
It's a
me,
bit too aggressive.
it's very aggressive, bro. It's very no. It is.
No,
very
they say they
aggressive.
call us aggressive.
Fam. For me, that's the it. Do you know what? People may have a different opinion to what I'm saying. Do you get what I'm saying? And the reason they will say that, oh, you know, they think black men don't like black women is because of the disrespect that black women get. And I am very much aware of that.
Yes.
We are not going to hide from that. It's true. Do you understand? But it's from a handful of men. It's not all black men. But I feel like we're all painted with the same brush, which I don't think is fair. That's my part in that. But generally, the consensus is for interracial relationships is it's one thing for it's one thing for women, and it's another thing for men. That's how I've seen it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Go on.
Oh, I was going to add to it a different dynamic that's a bit personal to me in a sense. Me considering myself as mixed raced, lighty. I've grown up with this, you know, that kind of topic or that sort of conversation being had with me, even like from my mum and things like that. You know what I mean? Like my take on it is, you know, as being a mixed race man, I've never had to play either side of it because, you know, my background wise, I'm Jamaican and Dominican. I've always grown up around more so my Jamaican side of my family. But being mixed race, there's kind of like...
Can I ask, so we give context?
Yeah,
what's
give context.
What's your mix?
Yeah, so my mum is English and Jamaican, so she's mixed race. And then my dad is Dominican, he's black, but he's born here, but like my dad's black and my mum is mixed race.
Yeah.
So I'm like 75% black, pretty much. Do you know what I mean? That's sort of the makeup of me.
Yeah.
But I never really ran into that conversation of, you know, either one, because I've come from a mixed race like family. You know what I mean? In that sort of interracial sort of link up. But you do see that a lot. You do see a lot of black women feeling threatened, by, you know, I guess black men going off with, you know, women that don't look like how black women do.
Yeah.
And it's sad that they actually feel that way. It really is.
Do you know? I came across a video on Instagram. I think it was yesterday, in fact, and it was in America, and you had one person who was going around a mall interviewing obviously black men, young black men, and asking them whether they prefer black girls or white girls. So the question is very neutral. Which do you prefer? And the negativity was always directed towards the black girls women. About obviously you had some that were like straight black because they got, you know, they got the asses, they got the breasts, they got the lips, face.
But why does it have to be sexualized? Why does it have to be sexualized?
No, well that's another thing. That's another thing, innit? But then on the other hand, they also said that, or some of them said that, oh yeah, they prefer white girls because obviously these ain't my words, but they said, oh, they let them do whatever we want. So whether that be sexual or like just throughout life, I don't know, innit? But they prefer that. And then so on one hand, you got black girls who everyday attitude and they're mean, and then you got white girls who obviously
considered easygoing.
Yeah, considered easygoing. And obviously, I think even though that happened in America, I feel like that is a case and a general consensus over here.
I think that this whole construct of black men liking white women more than black women is from
slavery.
Not slavery. I want to say media, but it goes back deeper. It goes back further than that. But when we look at the facts, when we look at the couples, the young couples in the black community that are getting married, and the young couples that are doing things together, they're usually 9 times out of 10 black couples. Do you get what I'm saying? When you see some, when you go to 10, that's 9 times, 9 times out of 10. What I see? Okay. From what I see, not on social media. Yeah. People around me and real life people. Yeah. Coming away from the internet.
So that's what you believe now?
No, that's what I've seen.
Yeah, that's
when someone's So when someone's getting married, it's usually a black couple. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? When somebody's buying a house together or they're moving in with their woman, it's usually a black couple. Do you get what I'm saying? I think that because this is my personal opinion, guys. I think that because there are more women than men, it looks like that men prefer a certain race because of what some men say,
Yeah.
and because there's just not enough men. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the women that are being chosen and are settling down and having good lives are being overlooked because, one, I think that some people just don't want to see it because they're still stuck on a certain agenda.
Yeah.
And two, maybe it intertwines with like personal hurt and what people see on the media as well. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I haven't heard certain black guys say they prefer lighter skinned women than darker skinned women, because I have heard it.
Yeah.
But just as much as I've heard that, I've also heard darker skinned like black men say that they like darker skinned women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Are you guys? Are you guys? So I was just gonna say, are you guys okay with disclosing your preference?
Yeah. I'm what I was actually going to say to that, what Daniel just said as well, is the word preference.
Yeah.
I feel like people get put down for their preference.
Yeah.
Like what you just said, Sean, what my preference is. All the people I've dated or been in relationships with have been mixed raced. I typically prefer mixed race girls or women.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's a preference. But that doesn't mean you won't consider.
That's not. But I won't put down a black woman. I won't, because I've got black women within my family. Like I said, I grew up around a lot of the Jamaican side of my family, which are black.
Yeah.
So I'm not about to put down a black woman or my friends for liking black women.
Yeah.
That's just my preference.
Yeah.
I prefer mixed race women. And I feel like, and not to go off on a tangent just quickly, but mixed race women get that stigma put against them as well in these interracial relationships. It's not always just black men going off with white women. It's sometimes black men going off with mixed race women. And then he only went in, this and that. You know what I mean? It's always something.
Yeah.
If it's not black, if it's not a black woman with a black man, it's a bit of a
There's just
bit
a
of a
chip
problem.
on the shoulder, I think. But for me, my preference, going back to your question, it's always been chocolate, bro.
Yeah.
When I was in school, so when I didn't really know what I liked, my options were always between chocolate or coolie looking girls.
Yeah.
Coolie looking, for those, maybe coolie's not the right term. It's because I'm Jamaican, that's the term we use, but people who are actually coolie
No,
from Ghana,
that's
they don't like that term.
Yeah, they don't
innit?
like- yes,
It's
yeah.
seen as a racist term.
Yeah.
But Asian, black mixed
Black-
with Asian.
yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? That's always
Blasian.
been my type. But me right now, I'm settled now. I'm getting married soon in January with a beautiful Nubian queen. Do you understand?
yes.
But that's just always been my preference. When people were screaming Beyonce back in Destiny's Child, I was always screaming Kelly Rowland.
Yeah.
And my mum will vouch for me for that. Like,
Yeah.
I've always been into dark-skinned women. And that's weird because my mum is actually red-skinned.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? She's very light. She's much lighter than me. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's been my preference. But I feel like because of it, this all stems from school.
Yeah.
I think it all stems from childhood, you know. And
Yeah.
I feel like if some black women are honest with themselves about how they feel towards black men treating black women, and you know how they feel about black men in general, we weren't the in thing. Like, me and you, Sean, like, okay, for those who can't see, Aaron is mixed race, I'm black, like dark skin, and Sean's dark skin. We weren't the in thing back in school. Even in college, it's like second year of college, that's when we started to become.
Can you put a year on that? Around
Okay,
the year,
so I went to school between 2004 and 2009.
It would have been 2009 to 2011.
And I went college 2009 to 2011. Then I went uni 2011.
So around that
to
sort of
2014.
2010 mark,
So around the 2010 mark is when we started to become
the in thing.
the in thing. But even when we were the in thing, it was because I personally don't think it was because we were
Favoured.
favoured. I think it was we
Yeah.
were sexualized.
Yeah.
You were sexualized. Sorry, it was almost like, because back in school time, it was always like, oh, mixed race boys, this and
Mixed
that.
race
blah,
boys,
blah.
green
But
eyes, blue eyes, and cane roll.
Yeah,
But we'll never forget.
And his name's Kyron or something.
Never forget that name.
or
Kyron,
or Kane,
Kieran,
all of them,
Byron,
Tyler.
all of them lot.
It's always a Byron,
it's
innit?
because it was almost like it got to
Byron.
2010, yeah, and it was almost like women became sick of this fantasy of, and it's almost like mixed race people at one point were sexualized or like fantasized in that sort of way.
they were.
They became sick of this idea of like, oh yeah, he's a player, all the mixed race boys are players, blah blah. That stigma started to kick in, and it was like, yeah, let's go back to black men, like liking our black men. So it's true what you said. It's like
I tell you, bro. Just talking from experience, as black, and Sean, I'm sure you can vouch for this as well.
Of course.
We as black men, were bottom of the barrel, fam.
even Blick and that.
Blick, everything.
all
even
sorts, fam,
even
all
overlooked by our own black sisters. But this is a conversation that is not always brought up.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? It's always how black women were made to feel.
It's them
and
same
blah, blah, blah.
girls now. Them same girls then that was cussing you.
Exactly.
Wet their pants right
Exactly.
now. They'll wet their pants.
Exactly. And this is it. But,
is what it
you
is.
know, I mean, there's always the conversation and the topic. This word accountability has been hot today between us lot. Do you know what I mean? And there's always the conversation of, and I'm going to be very careful the way I word this, but the way some women don't like to take accountability for how they maybe made other people feel, because they're only concentrating on how they were made to be, how they were made
That's
to feel.
the only thing that's important to them.
And that's the only thing that was important to them. But now, because we're the in thing, they use that as an excuse of, oh, you still don't go through what we go through.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? But that's not true. Being black, dark skinned, and a man, I personally feel is just as hard or even harder than being a black, dark skinned woman. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's very controversial, but the only reason I say that is because I know exactly what we go through on a daily basis, where
That
you're
doesn't
more
always get brought
likely,
up,
you're more likely to see a black female manager in the workplace than a black male as a manager in the workplace.
I think that is a
you get what I'm
very controversial statement to make.
It
And the
is,
reason-
but
the reason-
only in my field of work then.
yeah,
Do you get what I'm saying?
fair enough. But I just feel like, obviously, you work in construction, right?
Now I did.
Or
Now I
ye-
do. But
yeah.
I used to work in housing before.
Yeah,
Do you get what I'm saying?
cool. Yeah, so because obviously, like, people will say that, you know, if you think of like a square chart, and you got like, obviously you got men, then you got women, then you now got black, and then you got, or
Other
say
races.
ethnic, and then white.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then when if you look at the white man being plus, and you look at the black woman being negative, obviously this isn't true. This
No,
is just
I
what do.
understand where you're coming from.
So then, obviously, for you to say that being a black man, I think is definitely hard because
Do you know why it's hard, bro?
Hold on.
Sorry. I'm listening. Do you know it's do you know what it is? Yeah. Before I'm not gonna cut you, but do you know what it is? It's just as hard as each other, but because we're men, we don't voice it as much as black women.
Yeah, so this
You
is
get
what
what
I
I'm
said.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, when I said that, obviously what you said was controversial, because I guarantee you, any girl, woman, black woman that hears that straight away, I guarantee you, if they was here, they'd have something to say.
No, do you
about
know
it.
what? I wouldn't disagree
hold
with
on.
them. Yeah, sorry.
I know you're passionate, Dan.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is just that, like, obviously, yes, black men, we have it hard, but then as black women as well, it's almost like they're hit with whatever barriers that we have, they're hit with double that because they're women.
Yeah, no,
you know what I
and
mean,
I get
obviously
that.
we have different types of struggles, of course, but
And I get that. Do you know what it is? Yeah, What you're saying is 100% right, bro. And do you know what? I want to clear up.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
No.
but I'm just
I
saying
don't
it's
want people to think, oh yeah, he's a misogynist or blah blah blah. Like, I am for the black woman, innit? Like, man, them know me. I will defend the black woman to the death. Do you get what I'm saying? Even if it's banter or whatever, if I don't like it, I'm gonna call you out on it.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? That's what I do. But my thing is that we're not as vocal as black women about struggles.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that what black women make it into sometimes is a tit for tat.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, well, you don't go through this, you don't go through that. They don't understand, and they probably would never understand because they're women and we're males, what it's like to be a black male. Just how we will never understand what it's like to be a black female. Do you understand? But for me, where I was going before is that in my experience, you're more likely to see a black female manager in higher positions than a black male. Because a black male is never going to supersede a white male. in
Yeah,
in certain positions.
Yeah.
In certain working sectors.
Yeah.
It just won't happen.
Yeah.
Even if they are better suited for the role.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? And that this is an issue that we have to deal with. But you're more likely to fit the diversity quota, you're more likely to see a black woman in a high position. And this is just from my own experience in housing, construction. You can forget it. You can forget seeing black managers in anything, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
In construction, that is mainly a white dominant sector. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
So, like, back to what we were talking about, like interracial relationships.
interracial relationships, yeah.
Would you say that it's so difficult, isn't it? Because you
It's
don't want
a
to say it
hard
in a
one.
weird way.
It's a hard
Because
one.
I support black women wholeheartedly, 100%.
Do you know what it
But
is,
then I'm
yeah?
also not ignorant to the fact that we have some people that have certain opinions that I feel like they've allowed themselves to justify in a way, and I feel like like. Do you think black women have a chip on their shoulder then when it comes to?
All right. So as you're gonna say that, I was just gonna say that, in terms of like the whole chip on the shoulder thing, especially when you look into famous black males, whether they be in sports, entertainment, anything like that, you find that a lot of them obviously have non-ethnic partners, and sometimes you have to wonder why.
Is it a lot of them, or are they the only ones that are shown in the media?
But then they're all shown in the media, though. But when you think about it, all right. So when you tell me of a black footballer with a black wife, you have to think about it.
Yeah, but
Do you know what I mean?
can't.
When you-
But if you tell me a black footballer with a white wife, the only person I can probably think of is Ian Wright, because I'm not really into their personal lives like that.
But
You know
then,
what I'm saying?
all right, that's all right. So, but this is what I'm saying is like I do think the majority have non-ethnic partners, and I think that's maybe not even down to anything, but it's because obviously in the industry, like because of the way the industry is, whether it's sports or entertainment, you're just around those
I was
types
just
of
about
people.
to say that you're
This is
around
it.
those type of people because there's not always black women in these settings, some of these
Yeah.
settings, because some of these girls, sorry, should I say women, some of these women have, they might be in a particular setting around footballers or around rappers or around this or people with, a particular amount of money or success or fame,
I
because
feel it for black women. You know?
because
Ain't gonna lie.
their dad is maybe some oil merchant
No, I
somewhere.
understand,
Do you know what I mean? So
That's it.
it's just the setting
in
sometimes.
terms of going back to that chip on the shoulder thing you're saying, I don't think it's just black women. I think black people in general, we have a chip on our shoulder. But
Yeah,
I feel like we are justified for it.
By the way, when I said that, I don't want anyone thinking that I said
No,
that.
no, you
and
asked.
I
You
believed
asked.
it
You
was a
asked.
question.
No,
I'm just being
you
devil's
asked,
advocate.
But
innit?
I'm just saying, going back to that question,
Yeah.
I don't think I'm not gonna just say, oh, it's just black women. No, it's black people in general. But we are justified for it because we are so oppressed. When we shout, we're told to shut up.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
We can't even be heard.
Or we're being too aggressive.
Do
or
you
anything
get what
like
I'm
that.
saying?
Yeah.
And it makes me sick to my core sometimes when I see the arguments online and I hear the arguments face to face, because in one hand, I understand exactly where black women are coming from. I do. Do you get what I'm saying? In the other hand, I feel like it's mixed with personal hurt
Yeah.
and a vendetta, and also the attitude to not want to understand.
Yeah.
Because they have their own agenda.
But this is the thing as well, because you have to allow, you have to think about, alright, so for a black man, again, obviously, in not even in just in sports or entertainment, but obviously because that's what we're shown. But when you look at other things, you don't hear about, say, a black man going for his childhood sweetheart who's white. When it's childhood sweetheart, they tend to be black because that's who they grew up with. Obviously, when they find someone in the industry, they tend not to be black, or they're not showcased as much. And sometimes you got to think, because of the black man, again, some stuff that we go through, you got to think about, all right, so when we make it, like with like say white partners or non-ethnic partners, shall I say, sometimes there's a working relationship. Like you say, I'm working at what I'm working at, you're working at what you're working at. Sometimes if you look at some girls back in the day, for any young black males that have made it, sometimes all they want is just a come up. Do you know what I mean? So then now that leads to the next thing, which is talking about like situationships and feelings. Do you know what I mean? Like in terms of like, sometimes black guys have to be wary of that. Like with girls, when in the black community, it's kind of like you have to worry about who's real, who's not. Sometimes you get girls who are gonna start to like move a bit mad. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it might even. How many times you hear about people who've gone to go and have fun or whatever?
Do you know what? It's deep though,
they get
bro.
trapped and everything.
Do you know,
like
there's
that.
so many avenues. Yeah, you're right, bro.
Yeah.
But there's so many avenues to this topic that we could sit here all day and talk about it, because I think within certain, like, first of all, let me clear. I don't think anyone should be put under fire for their preference. If somebody likes something, they like it. It doesn't mean that they despise you.
it. Just don't put down
Just
something
don't put
else
something-
because you like
But
something.
then in saying that, the counter argument is that if you know your preference, there is no need to put down another race, because that's what happens a lot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? It is what happens a lot.
So just hold on. So actually, I'll do it.
Clap.
Bro, I'll make you something, bro. Am I moving mad?
Yeah. You trying to run it now?
No,